back to another episode of the Rocky Review. Actually, this is the last episode for the 8th graders, as this was our final week at Somerville, and what a busy week it was. Monday was Mr. Brooks Day. We celebrated the many years that Mr. Brooks has poured his time and energy into Somerville School. The day actually started the night before when 8th grade pulled off the 8th grade prank. Dozens and dozens of balloons filled his office, and the hallways lined with banners and signs attesting to the greatness of the class of 2022. Thanks for being a good sport, Mr. Brooks. We only wanted to make sure you wouldn't forget our class. Students came dressed as Mr. Brooks lookalikes, complete with the ever-important tie, while teachers and staff wore t-shirts adorned with Mr. Brooks pictures. In the afternoon, the entire school watched a special video of the past and present students and colleagues wishing Mr. Brooks a happy retirement. The student body presented him with special gift baskets of all his favorite things to enjoy. Finally, Mr. Brooks joined the students in playing Pin the Tie on Mr. Brooks in a competitive game of knockout. It was a very fun day spent celebrating a very fun guy. While we were on the topic of retirement, Rocket reporter Hannah recently sat down with Mr. Brooks and Mr. Mercer to discuss their upcoming retirement. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and today I'm joined with Mr. Brooks and Mr. Mercer. They are retiring this year. We would like to thank you guys for joining us today. You have both been at Somerville for so long, it's hard to imagine you guys not being here next year. How long have you both been working at Somerville, and how much time was that spent with each other?
Yes, I'll start. First off, it's been very rewarding, and it's been a fast 16 years that I've been here. And all those years has been working with Mr. Brooks, and it's been great. I mean, whenever you don't have a bad day, any day, it's all good.
And I've been here 20 years, and as Mr. Mercer was saying, 16 of those have been working with him, and we've accomplished a lot and kept things in good shape in the building, and I've enjoyed all of those years as well. I would say that I feel like we worked very well together over these past 16 years of my 20.
In that amount of time, you've probably seen a lot of changes and challenges. What is the biggest challenge you've faced?
Well, that's a pretty easy question probably for both of us, because the biggest challenge has been COVID. Just through, trying to decide whenever it first came out, what we needed to do to clean the building, keep everybody safe. And then another challenge is probably going from the textbooks to the Chromebooks. With that situation, Mr. Brooks has more a hand in that than I do, but I mean it was definitely a challenge.
And I agree on the COVID, that created issues for everyone, and we were able to make it through that time, but it certainly was one of the top challenges. But for me personally, probably the biggest challenge is personnel. When I came here, we would have in the neighborhood of 50, 60 applicants for every job that we had opened, and now we might get 6 or 8, so we're at about 10% of what we used to get, and that's just statewide, but that has affected us and truly has been a challenge for Somerville for the past 10 years. But those two things have come to mind as being the biggest challenges.
Well, and to go in with that, whenever I was hired in August of 2006, I was one of 30 some odd applicants, so feel very fortunate to end up with a job here. With I don't know who all the other applicants were, but I'm sure there were people that could have filled the role just fine.
We know you accomplished a great deal during your time here. What do you think your greatest accomplishment or achievement that you are most proud of would be?
Well, probably a good accomplishment is on a daily basis keeping the school clean. If you look at it like if you're going to have 300 people come to your house every day, it's got to be clean. So, and we've had through the years people notice that we do keep it as clean as we can here, and it's very noticeable, because if you go into other schools, you'll see that it might not be as tidy as what we keep it here. Another thing would be LED lights. We went to LED lights in the big gym and the little gym, and all our exterior lights on the outside are LED, so we're saving energy and a brighter light. And
I think for me, honestly, the biggest accomplishment was back in 2004 when we added the part of the building that you're standing in now, about a 27,000 square foot addition. Those who remember prior to that, the kindergarten through 4th grade were still at the north building 2.5 miles away, and we had staff traveling between buildings every day, and now we have kindergarten, actually pre-K through 8th grade here in the same building. So the biggest accomplishment I see is getting that those two buildings unified into this one, which doubled the square footage of our building here. And for me, that was an enormous accomplishment, although it was 15 or 16 years ago.
When you think about all the changes in society and education during your career, can you name one thing that you weren't too excited about and one that you would say is definitely a positive change?
well, the social media sometimes is not good to us here, and it is what it is. But sometimes it's not good. Going from textbooks to the Chromebooks is a challenge, especially whenever we went from to go to virtual learning. Mr. Brooks had to put in a kind of a radio per se, so in case, because a lot of our kids don't have Wi-Fi at home, and so they could come here if they needed to do their homework or whatever else.
For me, the positive and negative kind of aligns with what Mr. Mercer says. The positive is providing students with internet access has given them an opportunity to see the world here at Selmaville on their computers and internet service, but it's also, as he was saying, it provides a lot of negative aspects as well. Our students used to be able to get away from each other and away from the things that are going on at school, and nowadays they can't. They are here at school all day, and they have to endure challenges, and those same challenges travel at home with them through the social media and the internet. So I think internet's a wonderful thing, and the technology is a wonderful thing, but it also has provided so many challenges for our students as well.
How do you guys plan to spend your guys' retirement?
Well, I have one little grandchild that's 10.5 months old. Him and his mom and dad live up in Chicago, so I'll be looking forward to spending some more time with them. And then our daughter and son-in-law live out in Carlsbad, California, and they have a little girl that's just a little bit over 3 years old, and they actually have one on the way, a little boy that's going to be born in October. So we'll be spending some time out there with that. And other than that, trying to play a little bit more golf and do a little bit more camping and some boating and fishing and just fun stuff.
Yeah. And I would echo the same thing. I've missed a lot of family activities and events with my job, and I plan on doing a lot of catching up with the family. And Mr. Mercer and I share something else in common. We have a grandchild in California. I do as well, and I'm going to be making many trips and staying out there and seeing my grandson Brooks a lot more often than I am now. So I'm looking forward to the family side and hopefully golfing with Mr. Mercer as well. That would be a good thing for us to do. So looking forward to it, honestly.
Do you guys plan to come back and cheer us on?
Oh, sure. I mean, Mr. Brooks has spent close to 20 years here, and I've spent 16 years running the clock and for the girls and boys basketball and girls volleyball. So I've seen a lot of students through the years come and go, and I've always loved that part of grade school. I just love the athletics and stuff, so it's always fun to watch the kids play, and yeah, you betcha, I'll come whenever I can.
Yeah. I'll be the same way. I'll cheer on the Rockets as loud as the next person, and as they always say, once a Rocket, always a Rocket. That's where I'm at. I'll always be a Rocket.
Again, thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys have a good retirement. I'm Hannah with Channel 10 News. Let's head back to our studio.
Thanks, Hannah. Best wishes to both of you on your retirement. It is well deserved. Last weekend, Somerville's 7th and 8th graders got to enjoy a Somerville tradition, the 7th and 8th grade dance. This annual event had been sidelined for many years due to COVID. We are so happy to see it return. The evening started with the 8th grade dinner. Parents, families, and faculty joined the 8th graders for a special dinner and walked down memory lane. After the dinner, the 7th graders joined us for a night of dancing, laughing, and lots of picture taking. Thank you to everyone who made this night possible. Now, let's check in with Lauren for a look at our sports.
Well, as this is our final week of school, there are a lot of sports to report. We do have one very big sporting event tomorrow, though. 8 track team members will head to the SIJA SSA Class S State Track Meet in Heron. We want to wish Kyler, Carter, Kale, Morgan, Macy, Carly, Emily, and Kenna best of luck. The track awards will take place on Tuesday, May 17th at 6 p.m. All track members and their families are invited to attend. Please meet in the main gym. Don't forget to keep an eye out for news of baseball and softball tryouts over the summer. You will see that information posted on our school website and app. I'm Lauren, and that's your Rocket Sports Update. Have a great week.
Thanks, Lauren. Last night was the Class of 2022 Commencement Ceremony. Congratulations to our valedictorian, Carter Lowe, and the salutatorian, Dylan Crawford. On behalf of the Class of 2022, I want to thank everyone, staff, teachers, and administrators, and their family members for making our graduation ceremony and all the celebrations this past week a success. Leaving Somerville is hard, but we know once a Rocket, always a Rocket. This will always be our Somerville, and we will always be proud to be a Rocket. In other news, Miss Kelly's class had another kindergarten student swim out to the Reader's Reef. Congratulations to Hunter Odell on your reading success. Keep up the great work. Finally, the rest of the school still has one more week here at Somerville. Here's a look at some reminders for the final week of school. Dojo celebration for 5th or 7th graders will take place Tuesday, May 17th with a trip to Studio 50. If you earn your dojo reward, make sure to wear comfortable clothes that day. As Lauren said, track awards are Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. The end of the year activity day will take place on Thursday, May 19th. This will be a day filled with fun activities for K through 7th grade, including games, bounce houses, and more. Finally, Friday, May 20th is report card day. Students may ride the bus to school as normal, but they will only be here long enough to pick up their report cards and then back on the bus to start summer break. Before I sign off for the final time, I would like to thank my grandpa and the sponsor of this week's episode, Keep a Key Storage. From the class of 2022, thanks for all the great memories. I'm Kale from the Rock Review. Have a great summer.
Well, as this is our final week of school, there aren't a lot of sports to report. We do have one very big sporting event tomorrow, though. 8 track team members will head to the SIJHSSA Class S State